You guys heard of this Project 95 thing that's going on? It's pretty intense, bro. It's like this dude who went on the Phish tour Fall 95. He's like sort of retelling it 30 years later, and like a video basically every night. And it's pretty cool, man. And there's one tonight too. December 9th, 1995, Albany, New York, the Knickerbocker Arena. It was still called the Knickerbocker Arena. And for a long time after, I refused to call it anything else because it was Pepsi Arena, it was Times Union Arena or whatever. I feel like it's something different even now. Um, but I guess I relented at some point. I've seen a lot of shows in Albany now that I think about it. Um, Mostly because it's pretty easy to get to from Binghamton um, and Lemoyne. It's only a couple hours from each, and we kind of have peeps there. Fisher is from um, Delmar, I think. He's from right down on the Hudson. Um, and uh, Riley's girlfriend. I wanted to say Bo, but is Bo masculine? It's just his wife. Amy is from Watervliet. So we have some Albany ties. Jam Boys have some Albany ties. So we're frequent uh, SPAC and anything anything in the Albany area for the most part. Like I remember we went, I think like 99, 2000, they did those multiple night runs in Albany. We went last year to the October run. Um anyway, I've been to this arena a lot basically. Um and today was I I I was talking about transactional shows. This was one like to a T, like a textbook, T for textbook um, case of get in and get out. So I had I had some work lined up. So I told you I had to bust my ass back home to do two pool tables before we went to the Niagara Falls show. And then the next day we went to Cleveland and back. So my dad was like, "All right, you're working, you're working the 9th, you know." So this was another two pool tables, and it's one of those where I didn't say anything about the show because I'm like, oh, we'll be done with plenty of time to get to the show, and I won't have to ask to leave early. Well, um, as work often does, we hit some snags and we were running late. And I'm like, fuck, now I gotta mention it. So this was just like Niagara Falls thing. I'm like, hey, I got a show in Albany and I kind of gotta go right now. just, just so disappointed in his second born. Um, but he let me go, and I pushed it to the wire. I was like, I have to leave right now. I have to go directly to the venue. Like I can't, no dawdling, as it were. Um, so this one, I drove from the job, which was in Buffalo somewhere, straight across the state. It's like 4 hours from Buffalo to Albany. I pull in to just a parking lot that was like right behind. Somehow I got a spot in this lot right behind the arena. I get out, I walk around to the front, I walk in, go up the stairs. As soon as I break into the arena from the concourse, they start playing Maze. I hear, yes, as I'm walking through from the light to the dark, I hear taka 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 taka. And I just took the first seat I could find. I was page side, probably halfway up, right near like an exit. And I went in. I sat in that seat. I sat there for the entire show. As soon as the last note of Loving Cup rang, I turned and went out the door, down the stairs, out to my car, and headed back to Lemoyne. I was literally there for the music only. And the second set was insane. They usually bring it in Albany. And this night was no different. It had already been brought in. So, I mean, Maze, again, talk about sequencing, right? I'm big into sequences. Listen to this one for a show opener. Maze Feed NICU Sloth Rift. Yeah, that's Rift twice in 3 nights, because they played that in Niagara Falls 2 nights ago. But NICU got the X Point system starting to flourish a little bit. Sloth. And then the second half of the set just kind of dragged. When you come out swinging with Maze, and then the song called Feed from the Bottom. So if you had 12,995 on the theme from the bottom pool, you lose. Still calling it Feed. And I see you Sloth Rift, then bouncing Free, which again, not the free you're looking for. These are not the frees you're looking for. Those 95 frees that just kind of get noisy. Billy Breathes Dogface Boy is just like, oh, just a grinding halt. Not that they're bad songs. But that run, bouncing Free Billy Breathes Dogface, is like, oof. What are we doing, guys? Like, this show had such promise. And then kind of a token chalk dust closer. So the second set, my neck hurts, dude. Oh, fucking Phelps. Greg Phelps, Antelope Greg, as he is known in the community, made the chess move because he's from Bethlehem, which is Hudson area. And I can't remember. Did I tell the story about Phelps from out west? Because he was on tour and he had kind of become famous, and there's a picture of his car. I had to have told this story. I'm just losing it. And I just thought his car was cool. I didn't know him from anybody. And then when I came back, like in December, and I had all the pictures, and Fisher was looking through them, and he's like, "I know whose car that is. That's Greg Phelps' car." And I'm like, "Wait, you know this dude?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh, he's kind of a menace on tour. He's just he's loud and obnoxious, and just kind of in everybody's face." Uh, he's like, "Oh yeah, he's insane." Um, so Phelps, it's in my notes. Phelps made the chess move, um, which was, I think, pretty funny. We used to play. I mean, since 1995, we'd play Find Phelps it's like Where's Waldo. So at every show, if we were with a bunch of people who knew who Phelps was, and everybody knew because I had pointed him out, and Fisher and everybody, and Davis knows him. We'd play Find Phelps, and whoever found Phelps first wins. And that was always a blast. Phelps, his name was Antelope Greg. He used to sell these little antelope stickers. And then Antelope was his song. So he would have shades on for the whole show. And then if and when they played Antelope, that's when the shades came off and he became sort of possessed. And he would flail wildly and angrily, regardless of who was in his general vicinity. And he was quite famously dealing a lot of drugs on tour as well. So there was also that, but he was just one of the characters from the community, and I had these different ties to him through Fisher and Davis. So this is Trey had one of those like little Beavis and Butthead toys. It's like you've seen them. They make them of like I had a Nacho Libre one where you like push the button and he says a Nacho Libre thing. Or I had an Austin Powers one. You push the button and it says, "Yeah, baby, yeah." Right? Yeah. So Trey had a Butthead one, and either during Wilson or between Wilson and Gumbo, I'd have to go back and listen to the exact timing, but that's, I wrote it down as it was happening. He's hitting this thing, and it's Butthead saying "asswipe," and this sucks. And he's just doing it like it's akin to Fishman's little ooh-hoo, like those sound effects that he does every once in a while. It was like that, but he had this little Butthead guy. I have it between Wilson and Gumbo here, but it could have been during Wilson or whatever. But the Gumbo, I was psyched to see Gumbo got 2 points. And then, I mean, this show was built around this 35-minute YM that is, I mean, I think it gets slept on in that discussion of all-time great YMs. I'm in the middle of it right now, and they're kind of settled into this nice little groove. So it's groovy, and it gets weird a little bit. It's got a 4 4 points. But the big thing was I couldn't tell, I still don't know if the sound went out or if they did it on purpose, but there's a section of this YEM where they're literally playing like air band. There's no sound coming out. And I don't know if like they were making the best of a bad situation where the PA went out or something and they just kept going but air style, or if they were just like they had melted it down so that it was so quiet, like those shows out west. And that, but they're air playing like hard. Like their trays, doing fucking windmills, and they're all, Fishman's like going like this, and nothing is happening. It's literally they're playing air. And this went on for like a little bit. And for a minute it was like, wait, is this on purpose? Like what is what is happening? That was again such a Phish thing. And they would go on to do it. I feel like they did it during the Split Open and Melt from Binghamton, like a week later, or something like that. They did it where it kind of got, you're counting it out, and then they built it back up. So right now they're in the bass drum right now. So I just, that was the takeaway from the show, was like it was standing on the shoulders of this generational YEM. It was like so good. And then here's Slave again. Slave 2 out of 3 nights. I'm not complaining about that, but it's worth noting. 3 exclamation points. Then they pull Crossroads, which they kind of spontaneously did at Compton Terrace, if you remember. And that was like, oh, they sort of stumbled into that. Here they sort of queued it up. Adeline then like a Loving Cup encore, which is a song about vagina. So this, like I said, as soon as that song was over, I was out the door and in the car headed back to Lemoyne. It was December 9th, 1995, and it was the night of the Snowball, the winter formal dance at Lemoyne. So I remember all my friends were out at that when I got back to the dorm. And it's something that me and my wife kind of look back on. I'm like, I was there. I came back to Lemoyne and the night of the Snowball. We could have hung out, like that kind of thing. It's ridiculous. But it's one of those little cute things to, I was there, but you didn't know, and you were there and I didn't know. And now we know, and we're married. So that means it's good. Oh, synth. They're in this post bass drum breakdown now. Snap, that, when it, swat, sweet, swat, swin it, swat, swat. Sweet, swat, swin it, swat, sweet, swat, swin it, swat, swat. And then Paige is taking a little. or letting it go. Yeah, this is not common um, for YMs to be doing this, and this is pre those nouveau YMs where they're jamming out of the vocal jam. They did one at they did it a couple summers ago at Bethel, I think, that tour. Um, so anyway, this was about the YM, and it was fabulous. And I was in and out, and happy to do so. Great show. And then looking at a day off, and then uh, prepping to um, take the hike up to Maine on the 11th. That is the next time I will see you. Cumberland County Civic Center, Quad C. That's where I'll see you next. So